The Law of One, Book 2, Session 43, March 24th, 1981. Ra, I am Ra. I greet you in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator. Before we communicate, may we request the adjustment, without the touching of this instrument's physical body complex, of the item which presses upon the instrument's head. This is causing some interference with our contact. Questioner, is that the pillow or something else? Do you speak of the pillow under the neck? Ra, I am Ra. There is a line of interference crossing the crown of the head. Questioner, is it this? Is that it? Ra, I am Ra. This is correct. Please increase the distance from the crown of the head. Questioner, is this satisfactory? Ra, I am Ra. Yes. Questioner, I'm sorry that we failed to notice that. Ra, we communicate now. Questioner, I don't know if it's of any importance, but it occurred to me that the parts removed from cattle mutilations are the same every time, and I wondered if this is related to the energy centers and why they were so important if that was so. Ra, I am Ra. This is basically correct if you may understand that there is a link between energy centers and various thought forms. Thus, the fears of the mass consciousness create the climate for the concentration upon the removal of body parts which symbolize areas of concern or fear in the mass consciousness. Questioner, are you saying then that these parts that are removed are related to the mass consciousness of the third density human form, and that this fear is being used in some way by the thought form entities in these mutilations? Ra, I am Ra. This is correct. The thought form entities feed upon fear. Thus, they are able to do precise damage according to systems of symbology. The other second density types of which you speak need the, what you call, blood. Questioner, these other second density types need the blood to remain in the physical? Do they come in and out of our physical from one of the lower astral planes? Ra, I am Ra. These entities are, shall we say, creatures of the Orion group. They do not exist in astral planes as do the thought forms, but wait within the Earth's surface. We, as always, remind you that it is our impression that this type of information is unimportant. Questioner, I agree with you wholeheartedly, but sometimes I'm at a loss before investigation into an area as to whether it's going to lead to a better understanding. This just seemed to be related somehow to the energy centers which we had been speaking of. I'm going to make a statement and have you comment on it for its correctness. The statement is, when the Creator's light is split or divided into colors and energy centers for experience, then in order to reunite with the Creator, the energy centers must be balanced exactly the same as the split light was as it originated from the Creator. Is this correct? Ra, I am Ra. To give this query a simple answer would be nearly impossible. We shall simplify by concentrating upon what we consider to be the central idea towards which you are striving. We have, many times now, spoken about the relative importance of balancing as opposed to the relative unimportance of maximal activation of each energy center. The reason is as you have correctly surmised. Thusly, the entity is concerned, if it be upon the path of positive harvestability, with the regularizing of the various energies of experience. Thus, the most fragile entity may be more balanced than one with extreme energy and activity in service to others due to the fastidiousness with which the will is focused upon the use of experience in knowing the self. The densities beyond your own give the minimally balanced individual much time-space and space-time with which to continue to refine these inner balances. Questioner, in the next density, the fourth density, is the catalyst of physical pain used as a mechanism for experiential balancing? Ra, I am Ra. The use of physical pain is minimal, having only to do with the end of the fourth density incarnation. This physical pain would not be considered severe enough to treat, shall we say, in third density. The catalysts of mental and spiritual pain are used in the fourth density. Questioner: why is physical pain a part of the end of fourth density? Ra: I am Ra. You would call this variety of pain weariness. Questioner: can you state the average lifespan in the fourth density of space-time incarnation? Ra: I am Ra. The space-time incarnation typical of harmonious fourth density is approximately 90,000 of your years as you measure time. Questioner: are there multiple incarnations in fourth density with time-space experiences between incarnations? Ra: I am Ra. This is correct. Questioner: how long is the cycle of experience in fourth density in our years? Ra: the cycle of experience is approximately 30 million of your years if the entities are not capable of being harvested sooner. There is in this density a harvest which is completely the function of the readiness of the social memory complex. It is not structured as is your own, for it deals with a more transparent distortion of the one infinite creator. Questioner: then the big difference in harvestability between third and fourth density is that at the end of the third density, the individual is harvested as a function of individual violet ray. But it is the violet ray for the entire social memory complex that must be harvestable nature to graduate to the fifth density. Is this correct? Ra: I am Ra. This is correct, although in fifth density, entities may choose to learn as a social memory complex or as mind-body-spirit complexes, and may graduate to sixth density under these conditions. For the wisdom density is an extremely free density, whereas the lessons of compassion leading to wisdom necessarily have to do with other selves. Questioner: then is sixth density harvest strictly of a social memory complex nature, because again we have wisdom and compassion blended back using wisdom? Ra: I am Ra. This is quite correct. Questioner: the physical vehicle that is used in fourth density space-time is, I'm assuming, quite similar to the one that is now used in third density. Is this correct? Ra: I am Ra. The chemical elements used are not the same. However, the appearance is similar. Questioner: is it necessary to eat food in the fourth density? Ra: I am Ra. This is correct. Questioner: the mechanism of, shall we say, social catalyst due to a necessity for feeding the body then is active in fourth density. Is this correct? Ra: I am Ra. This is incorrect. The fourth density being desires to serve, and the preparation of foodstuffs is extremely simple due to increased communion between entity and living foodstuff. Therefore, this is not a significant catalyst, but rather a simple precondition of the space-time experience. The catalyst involved is the necessity for the ingestion of foodstuffs. This is not considered to be of importance by fourth density entities, and it, therefore, aids in the teaching learning of patience. Questioner: could you expand a little bit on how that aids in the teach learning of patience? Ra: I am Ra. To stop the functioning of service to others long enough to ingest foodstuffs is to invoke patience. Questioner: I'm guessing that it is not necessary to ingest foodstuffs in fifth density. Is this correct? Ra: I am Ra. This is incorrect. However, the vehicle needs food which may be prepared by thought. Questioner: what type of food would this be? Ra: I am Ra. You would call this type of food nectar or ambrosia, or a light broth of golden white hue. Questioner: what is the purpose of ingesting food in fifth density? Ra: I am Ra. This is a somewhat central point. The purpose of space-time is the increase in catalytic action appropriate to the density. One of the preconditions for space-time existence is some form of body complex. Such a body complex must be fueled in some way. Questioner: In third density, the fueling of our bodily complex is not only simply fueling of the bodily complex, but gives us opportunities to learn service. In fourth density, it not only fuels the complex, but gives us opportunities to learn patience. In fifth density, it fuels the complex, but does it teach? Ra. I am Ra. In fifth density, it is comfort for those of like mind gathered together to share in this broth, thus becoming one in light and wisdom while joining hearts and hands in physical activity. Thus, in this density, it becomes a solace rather than a catalyst for learning. Questioner. I'm simply trying to trace the evolution of this catalyst that then, as you say, changes in fifth density. I might as well complete this and ask if there's any ingestion of food in sixth density? Ra. I am Ra. This is correct. However, the nature of this food is that of light and is impossible to describe to you in any meaningful way as regards the thrust of your query. Questioner. On this planet, after the harvest is complete, will fourth density beings be incarnate on the surface as we know it is now? Ra. I am Ra. The probability-possibility vortices indicate this to be most likely. Questioner. Then will there be at that time any fifth density or sixth density beings on the surface of the planet? Ra. I am Ra. Not for a fairly long measure of your time, as fourth density beings need to spend their learned teaching space-time with their own densities entities. Questioner. Then basically what you are saying is that at the point which the teachings of fifth or sixth density beings would not be too well understood by new fourth density beings? Ra. I am Ra. Do you wish to query us upon this point? Questioner. I guess I didn't state that correctly. Would the new fourth density beings then need to evolve in their thinking to reach a point where fifth density lessons would be of value? Ra. I am Ra. We grasp the thrust of your query. Although it is true that as fourth density beings progress, they have more and more need for other density teachings, it is also true that just as we speak to you, due to the calling, so the information called is always available. It is simply that fifth density beings will not live upon the surface of the planetary sphere until the planet reaches fifth level density vibratory level. Questioner. I was wondering then if the mechanism of teach learning was the same relatively then in fourth density. From what you say, it is necessary first for a call to exist for the teach learning of fifth density to be given to fourth, just as a call must exist here before fourth density lessons are given to third density. Is this correct? Ra. I am Ra. This query is misguided, for experience in fourth density is emphatically not the same as third density experience. However, it is correct that the same mechanism of calling predisposes the information received in a way consonant with free will. You may ask one more full question at this working. Questioner. You stated that the key to strengthening the will is concentration. Can you tell me the relative importance of the following aids to concentration? I've listed silence, temperature control, comfort of body. Screening as a Faraday cage would screen electromagnetic radiation, visible light screening, and a constant smell such as the use of incense. In other words, an isolation type situation. You mentioned that this was one of the functions of the pyramid. Ra. I am Ra. The analogies of body complex to mind and spirit complex activities have been discussed previously. You may consider all of these aforementioned aids as those helpful to the stimulation of that which in actuality aids concentration, that being the will of the entity. This free will may be focused at any object or goal. Questioner. I was really trying to get at whether it would be of great importance to construct a better place for our meditations. We have distractions here of the types which I mentioned, and I know that it is a function of our total free will as to whether we construct this or not, but I was trying to get at the principles behind and the relative importance of the Faraday cage. It would be quite a construction, and I was wondering if it would be of any real value? Ra. I am Ra. Without infringing upon free will, we feel it possible to state that a Faraday cage and the isolation tank are gadgets. The surrounding of self in a sylvan atmosphere, apart from distractions, in a place of working used for no other purpose, in which you and your associates agree to lay aside all goals but that of the meditative seeking of the infinite creator is, shall we say, not gadgetry, but the making use of the creation of the Father in second density love, and in the love and support of other selves. Are there any brief queries before this working is at an end? Questioner: is there anything that we can do to make the instrument more comfortable or to improve the contact? Ra: I am Ra, all is well. I leave you in the love and the light of the one infinite creator. Go forth, therefore, rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one infinite creator. Adonai.